Good morning, everybody. We are here before 12 o'clock. I decided to get out here a little bit early before it got way too hot. Because I know in the evenings here, we're in around 90 degrees. Most of my bees are on the outside of the hive, but it's been 3 weeks since I've been in here really looking. I just want to see how much they've moved and how far they've gone. Because we had about 3 frames that they still had to draw the wax out in here at the end. So let's get into it and see what we've got. And I noticed they've covered up these vent holes completely. These were already completely, but they've propolized every bit of their holes. Man, they're moving. Don't know what they've done, but they look like they've done something. Now I've got right here, I've got my, where I can put syrup in here, some sugar water, and they've drank all that I had in there. And this right here, I got to get a new one to put on here. This time, instead of a pint, I'm gonna put a quart on here to try to give them a little bit of a boost. So this is just kind of an empty frame. Just have the lines on there, had wax at the top. Obviously they don't care nothing about that. They're already starting to put honey in the top. You can see where they're drawing it out, and they're already putting honey up here. And they've drawn out, starting to draw this side out. And they've got this side right here starting to draw out, and if you can see, they're already starting to put honey in it as well. They're moving their way down pretty good. So it's gonna be time for some new frames. I'm gonna bring some more frames out here today. You can see right here, they're putting honey in the top of that. They've also been drawing that out. You can see that pretty good. So they're pulling these wax sheets out. And the one thing I've been different than the other ones, if you'll notice over, you can see the X, that's where my fishing line was that I had. That I got it on both sides, and that's what kind of pinches or holds that wax sheet in there better and keeps it straight. They're actually drawing the wax out over top of it, which was compared to what they've been in the past. They haven't done that, but they have been this time. Same thing here, they're drawing that out, pulling honey in the top. Same thing there. I'm gonna pull one more out because, man, these 2 frames right here look drawn out pretty good. So I just want to see it's heavier. You can see here, they're drawing that honey out at the top there. And there's nectar going in the bottom. So I've got nectar in the bottom too. It's a little lighter colored. You can see what looks to be like honey. And then you can see there's nectar in the bottom as well. I had a hive that was getting robbed out earlier, so I think that some of this at the top that's brown is actually coming from a robbed out hive, since it's dark. I've got a drone. There's a drone right there. And the one, so they've drawn these out right here pretty good. So what I'm gonna do, so here was my new frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's what I had that I'd put in new 3 weeks ago. Or I guess 4 weeks ago. So they've drawn, this one's completely drawn out both sides. This one's pretty much drawn out both sides. They're about halfway done on either side, pulling it out, the thickness on this one. And this one they're working on too. So they're working on drawing out all 5 of them. They're still working on all of them. So I'm gonna go in and add more space for them. So I'm gonna go and get some more frames and put them in here today to give them more room to work, to build. So by the time I get that done, I should have basically a little more than 2 deep brood boxes full. So I should have at least 20 frames in here when I get done with all of this. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 17. So I'll have 22 frames when I put the other 5 in. So we'll see how it goes. I'll just keep you updated on what's going on, but this is the progression I've gotten so far with this. So far, so good. This is the best that I've seen them do. And I don't know what I've done any different than I've done in the past. I've tried to keep sugar water on them. I did that last year, but something happened. But this time they look pretty good. I've only seen, looking at these these 5 frames here, I've only seen 1 small hive beetle. So I'm not seeing any in this area right here that I've been looking at. So that makes me happy that I ain't got so many of them, because in some of my taller hives, I've got a lot of small hive beetle in them. And we haven't even hit the point yet in the summer where they're really, really bad. So we'll just keep on trucking and see what it all turns out to be. I'd love to be able to make this where I can keep this one going. I don't want to get it all the way to the end of the hive. I want to leave like 4 frames left over at the end where there's not an active hive. I want to be able to take a good frame of brood with eggs and food and larvae and be able to put them in there with 3 or 4 frames and be able to make a new hive so I can move them over somewhere else. It's kind of an experiment. So, but I'm happy with it. Everything's, to me, seems to be going very well. But what I'm going to do with this piece right here, I will end up moving this down to the end. When I put my new frames in, I'm going to move this one down. So I guess I've got 6 here. That's where I thought it was 5 earlier, but I'm going to put these back in for now, and I'm going to go in and get my other ones. But this seems to be a very good deal. Got one of mine one of the bees, I guess the graveyard bee, taking a dead one out. Trying to anyways. But and then I'm gonna put some more sugar water on them today, because I know I'm not worried about collecting honey from this hive. I just want this hive to just get bigger so I can get it through the winter here. We haven't had real bad winters. Hadn't been real. I mean, we'd have a few weeks down in the teens, and then it'll go back up into the 20s, and then we'll go back down to the teens and get to, you know, maybe 9, 10 in there a couple of nights. But it just hasn't been a really harsh winter, so it hasn't been as bad on them as far as having to keep everything going in the heat. So, and plus with these, the one thing I wanted to do is I used 2-bys on this, so the wood's thicker, so I was hoping that would help them insulate a little bit better. But that's what it looks like now. So that's 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, they've almost completely drawn out 2 frames, and they've got 3 frames halfway drawn out, but they're storing nectar and stuff in all of them. So they're drawing out pretty quick. I want them to at least get another 5 frames done by the end of July. So I'll just keep you updated. Thanks for watching.